find all the tools that you need, and they are as follows: a 12-volt drill, and I believe it's a 232nd bit. But when you have all the bits, just go ahead and find the right one that matches the OEM hole size, and you'll be fine here. So you need a 12-volt drill, some double-sided scotch tape. I didn't use that actually because I used the OEM adhesive that came with the spoiler. And you also need some electrical tape, zip ties to kind of tidy everything up later, and you also need wire crimpers to crimp into the third brake light, and you need T-tap connectors so you can connect them from the spoiler wires to the brake light, and you need some wire crimpers as well. So you need all those tools. Go ahead and gather them. I also used a magnetic tray so I can keep everything neat, that way I don't lose them. So we'll get started now. You locate underneath the trunk, go ahead and open up the trunk. You'll notice that there's going to be about 3 or 4 pins or screws, plastic screws that you need to remove with a screwdriver. So go ahead and remove those. On my car there's only 3. Put them off to the side somewhere where you won't forget, and we'll proceed to the next step. Step 2, when you open up the trunk cover and you look underneath on the sides, there's going to be some OEM marks, and when you buy the OEM spoiler, there's going to be 4 marks that are already pre-made by the dealer, pre-made by Acura, and go ahead and pinpoint those. You don't need to measure anything, because if you bought the OEM style spoiler, or if you bought the OEM spoiler, they're going to fit exactly as marked. So don't be afraid and don't be hesitant, just go ahead and drill them, and we'll proceed to the next step. 3, go ahead and just drill. I wore some protective glasses, you can't really see here, but go ahead and drill into all 4 holes, and make sure that everything is nice and even. Step 4 is a little bit tricky. You kind of need 2 people for this, but I managed to do it just with 1 person. You just go ahead and mount the spoiler and kind of hand tighten all of the bolts, but don't tighten them down fully yet, just mount them. I didn't record this step in detail, but you guys kind of, you just have to basically mount the spoiler and screw it in. And once you're done with that, we'll go ahead to the next step. Step 5 is the most tricky. You're going to want to grab a T-tap connector and a regular connector like I've shown here. Mine just happened to be blue and red. Basically, you're going to crimp and tap into the rear brake light, and if you look underneath your trunk, you're going to see a third brake light connector. Basically, one is going to be white striped and one is going to be black, and you're going to go ahead and crimp it just like this. This step might be a little bit tricky, so if you guys want to see it, just let me know, or just go ahead and shoot me an email or a message, and I'll kind of give you guys more clarity on this. But basically, you just crimp them into the brake light. The stripe side goes into the stripe side, and the solid color goes into the solid color. So I believe it was white and blue stripe goes into white and blue stripe, and then the 2 blacks go into the 2 blacks. So you're going to hold 1 black cable on the spoiler and 1 brake light cable and match them to the same color, and then do the same for the other one. Don't be afraid, because later on when you test it out, if you didn't wire it up correctly, you just have to reverse them, and then the brake light should work when you press the brakes. So go ahead and pay attention to this part, because it's really tricky, and if you can get through this part, then the rest is just a piece of cake. And then the final step is to basically just test out the brake light. To go in your car, test out all the lights, the right signal, left signal, press the brake with your foot, make sure that the light on the spoiler comes on, and if it does, then you're all set. I also went ahead and tidied up everything. I used zip ties to kind of hide the cables, and I used black electrical tape to cover up the white wiring, and I put everything back together, and that should be it. Yeah, let me know if you guys need any help, and that's about it.